Hey guys, Sam and Alex here from Top Tennis Training in partnership with Beyond Borg.
In this video we're going to cover how to handle spins, heavy spins, heavy slices. So firstly, how do we handle deep, heavy spins?
Now you have two options on this type of shot. The first option is to try to take it on the rise before it actually gets too high, but this is a very hard option and something that more advanced players will try. Now this will require great timing because the ball is going to bounce and kick up quickly, so the margin in that hitting zone will be very small.
Also, it'll depend on the kind of surface you play on. If you're playing on clay court and you're taking that ball very early, you might get a bad bounce, so you might not always make a good contact. So it's very important that you adjust yourself depending on what court you play on. So on the clay you may want to go a little bit deeper.
Now here we see Alex taking that ball on the rise. A few things that you want to try to do when trying to take this ball on the rise is to get the racket back really early, so early preparation. Another thing that you'll notice Alex doing really well is putting his body weight through the shot, so the weight transfer through the ball, and if you can, you want to use the neutral or the semi-open stance on this type of ball.
Now the second option is letting that ball bounce, moving back. So if this was the baseline, I might move back 6 or 8 feet, let the ball go up to its peak and start to drop, and I might hit it after it starts to decelerate.
Now here's a slow motion of Alex letting that ball drop, so he's moving back and he's letting that ball drop. A big thing that you want to try to do when you're letting this ball drop is you want to give it a lot of topspin and you want to give it good net clearance to give yourself time. Another thing that Alex really does well is that full rotation. From this position here, notice that the shoulders really rotate fully. Even though his body weight's going backwards, he's still getting great rotation from the hips and from the shoulders. Now this is a thing that they train in Spain, and you really want to try to do that.
Now it's very important that with heavy spin, you counter the heavy spin with your own spin. It's not enough just to put your racket to the ball and let the ball come off your strings, because that ball will spin off and you will lose the control on it. So you'll actually have to give a little bit of your own spin to make the ball go the direction and the way that you want, and not just react to the spin that's come at you. Now I'll show you what happens if you don't counter the spin with your own spin. So this ball should fly off my racket without the control that I want to hit the shot. Now there, when I just touch the ball, it spins off my strings and I don't get any control on it. So it's very important that I actually accelerate through it and give it my own power, my own spin. Now it's very important that when you do move back for that spin shot, it's important that you get this height over the net to make the ball go deep. Otherwise you're going to hit a lot of short balls if you're moving backwards on that spin and actually just hitting the same shot. Now how do we handle slice? A heavy slice will usually die down. It'll stay a little bit lower than a spin because the ball has this backwards rotation on it. It'll slow down, so you have to be a lot closer to the ball, you have to be a lot lower to the ball, and then you again will have to counter it with your own spin to lift the ball over the net.
Now with any shot in tennis, it's very important to see what your opponent's racket is doing at a time of contact. If the racket's going slow, the effect on the ball is probably not going to be that heavy. If it's going really quick and you can see that the racket's traveling up at the back of the ball like this, really quick, the spin is going to be much greater than a slow traveling racket.
Now you'll have to make the correct adjustment depending on the kind of shot that's going to be coming. So if, for example, I see my opponent swinging the racket and then using this across the ball motion, I'll know that the ball is actually going to be spinning or slicing a little bit more sideways. So I'm going to have to adjust my position and not stand so close to the ball perhaps, and actually look to almost anticipate where the ball will bounce to and get myself prepared in that position rather than standing next to the bounce. So a lot of the times I see with the recreational players is they actually stand next to the bounce and don't take into consideration the spin that their opponent has put on, or the slice that they've put on, or the side spin that they've put on. So it's very important to adjust your positioning on the court depending on how they've swung that racket and how they've hit through that shot.
Now this is something that you'll see if you're tracking the ball well. You don't have to watch the player all the time. Obviously the ball is more important than the player, but you'll see at contact how their racket is moving from your vision if you're watching that ball correctly.
Now the more you do it, the easier it will become, and after a while you won't even have to think about it, so you'll actually see the way your opponent's hitting it and you'll react instantly. But until then it's very important that you really pay attention and start making the correct decisions.
Now notice in this clip how low Alex gets with his body. Look at the knee bend right here. Now this is crucial when handling a slice.
Now on that one, I could see that the ball's going to go really low because Simon really sliced through the shot forward and the ball was going quite low over the net, and I knew the bounce was going to be low and I needed to get as close as I can to that ball so that I could spin it over the net.
Now notice in this clip how Alex gives himself a lot of space away from the ball. He doesn't go too close to the bounce, and this gives him the space to adjust.
Now on that one you could see that the ball's going to move more to the right because I could see the side spin that Simon's putting on it. So I had to adjust my positioning and actually stand a little bit further to the right so that I could hit that shot effectively. Now on that last one, Simon had this reverse spin on the forehand, and again I had to adjust my positioning, this time standing a little bit further to the left.
And again in this clip, notice that Alex gives himself a lot of space away from the ball, away from that bounce, so he can adjust for the different types of spin that I'm giving him.
So thank you for watching the video. Hopefully you learned quite a lot in this video. If you like it, make sure to click the like button, leave a comment as well, and share it with your tennis friends. We have just released our brand new course, the Tennis Blueprint.
This is the complete course to mastering your tennis game.
Now in this course we have put all our previous courses in one, and we have added a lot of new content, and that course is available now.
To find out more, click this box.